Chapter 4, Dangerous Encounters. Alex Carter knew they couldn't stay in one place for long. The web of deceit they had begun to untangle was vast, and the threats were becoming more tangible with each passing moment. As they drove back to the office, Alex's mind raced with thoughts of how to proceed. The information they had decrypted with Jamie's help was explosive, but it needed to be handled delicately. The phone buzzed again. This time it was a text from Rachel Adams. Received the files. Working on the story. Be careful. Alex couldn't help but feel a pang of anxiety. Rachel was courageous, but this was no ordinary investigation. Praxis Solutions had resources and reach that extended far beyond the city. They needed to tread carefully. As they approached their office building, Alex noticed a black SUV parked nearby. Something about it seemed off. They parked a few blocks away and approached the building cautiously. Inside, Jamie was packing up their equipment. "Jamie, we need to get out of here," Alex said, urgency in their voice. "I think we're being watched." Jamie nodded, already anticipating the danger. "I've got everything I need. Where do we go?" Alex thought for a moment. "There's a safe house I know. We can lay low there and figure out our next steps." They left the office through the back entrance, moving swiftly but carefully through the alleyways. The safe house was an old apartment building Alex had used in the past, unremarkable and off the grid. Once inside, they set up a temporary base of operations. "We need to figure out our next move," Alex said, spreading out the decrypted files on the table. "Praxis Solutions is involved in illegal surveillance and data mining. We have to find a way to expose them without getting ourselves killed." Jamie looked over the documents. "We need more evidence. Something undeniable that can bring them down. And we need to do it fast." As they strategized, Alex's phone rang. It was David Miller. "Mr. Carter, I think someone's been following me." David's voice was shaky. "What should I do?" "Stay calm, David. Go to a public place with lots of people and stay there until I contact you again. We'll get you somewhere safe." After hanging up, Alex turned to Jamie. "We need to protect David. He's the only other person who knows about this." Jamie nodded. "I'll set up some surveillance around him. If anyone tries to get close, we'll know." They worked late into the night, compiling the evidence and planning their next steps. Just as they were about to call it a night, the door to the safe house burst open. Two men in dark suits stormed in, guns drawn. "Hands up, both of you." One of the men barked. Alex and Jamie complied, slowly raising their hands. The men approached, their expressions cold and determined. "Who sent you?" "That doesn't matter," the other man said. "You need to stop this investigation. Now." Jamie glanced at Alex, a look of defiance in their eyes. "We're not stopping. You can't silence the truth." The men exchanged glances, then the first one spoke again. "We're giving you one last chance. Drop this investigation, or you'll regret it." Alex's mind raced. They needed to buy time. "Fine, we'll stop. Just let us go." The men looked unconvinced, but after a tense moment, they lowered their guns. "Remember, we're watching you." As they left, Alex and Jamie exchanged a look. They knew the men wouldn't hesitate to return if they continued their work. But there was no turning back now. "We need to move again," Alex said, grabbing the documents. "They'll come back, and next time, they won't be so lenient." Jamie agreed, and they quickly gathered their things. They decided to head to a remote cabin owned by a trusted friend, a place where they could regroup and continue their work in safety. As they drove through the dark, winding roads, Alex couldn't shake the feeling of dread. The deeper they dug, the more dangerous this became. But they were committed to seeing it through, no matter the cost. At the cabin, they set up a new base of operations. Jamie worked on securing their communications while Alex contacted Rachel to update her on the situation. "Rachel, we're still working on this, but it's getting dangerous. Be careful." "I understand," Rachel replied. "I'm taking precautions. This story needs to be told." As they ended the call, Alex looked out into the dark woods surrounding the cabin. The shadows seemed to close in, but Alex felt a renewed sense of determination. They were in too deep to back out now. The truth had to come to light, and they were willing to face whatever dangers lay ahead.